I will show you what our new release of the Netbox plugin is doing. We've been working very hard on this one, and the main focus here was that we can actually synchronize data models between Slurp'it and Netbox. So we did it for IPAM prefixes and the interfaces. And also in this release, we focused on being able to set the management interface and IP address during onboarding of new devices. Um, the release is 153. And I will start actually with the management interface. So when you onboard a new device, and for example, I'll take my MikroTik, and you click on onboard, you have now here the option for management interface. This is a static value. It will be a dummy interface. If you know already your real interface and you have standardized this somehow, you can type here your real interface. Else, we will create a dummy interface and attach this as a management interface. In case you already have an existing Netbox system with setup management interfaces, we will not override them. We will keep using the original one as it is. So now I do apply, and when I go here to onboard it and I click on the MikroTik version 7, you will see it actually has now a onboarded Netbox IP address, which you can use for your automation with Nornir or Ansible or and so on. You still have your custom variables here. Now the next thing is the reconcile. And before I go there, I want to show you something in here. So in Slurp'it itself, in the plugin page, so you go to settings plugin, you have to set the authorization type to Netbox. Before it was token, but token only does the interface, the devices and the data tabs. Now if you put it on Netbox, you get the option to say which data models you would like to sync. So we have devices, data tabs, IPAM, interfaces, and prefix. IPAM does something smart. It will just get all the IP addresses over all the plannings and then create a payload and send it toward Netbox. Interfaces and prefixes are relying on a planning name. So you have to make sure you have a planning name called interfaces or routing table with the following columns. By default, we did this already for you, but if you made some changes in it and you want to use this functionality, make sure you align with what's written here. Then we use the callback mechanism. So the moment Slurp'it logs in on the device and the device returns data toward the system, this will then automatically being placed in a queue and sent toward Netbox. The queue will run more or less every minute, so you will not see all the data coming in once. You will see it comes in stages. Where does it come in? Well, here in Slurp'it you have, or sorry, in Netbox, in the Slurp'it plugin, you have a tab called reconcile. And here you see now we got IPAM, interfaces, and prefixes. These just came in because I just clicked on this before I started recording the video. You can see the commit action is adding. So the network is added toward the system. In case the network is already in the system, it will says changing. And then when you click here on the data itself, it will give you an overview of the diff. But since we're adding something, there is no diff. What else you will see like Git, you'll see in red and green, like what are the changes before they're added toward your network system. Now what we can do is we can select them all here, and then on top of here it says like, okay, would you like to select them all from the pagination, or would you actually select them all which are in the database at the moment? Well, we want to select them all. And now the prefixes are added to the system. Same as with IPAM, you can just select them all. You see also here it's adding. We want all of them, and we add them toward the system. Now, if I go here to IPAM and I go to prefixes, uh, you see they're added, you see the utilization, you also see the VRFs. If the VRF is missing while we add the prefixes, we will also add the VRF here in that box. And now here, if you go to addresses, you see that all the IPAM addresses are added. In case you want to add extra data, which we don't have from the live device, because you have the option here in Netbox, we have here in data mapping and then Slurp'it to Netbox, you have here the option to set custom values when the data comes in. So you can set custom roles, descriptions, tenants, all kinds of data, which will then be added toward the payload before we update Netbox. Um, that's it for this part. Now, maybe it's fun now to try to add the interfaces. So interfaces will only, yeah, you see, they're still coming in because yeah, every minute the queue is being sent toward Netbox. But regarding the interfaces, we will only add the interfaces toward Netbox in the reconcile of devices that are onboarded. And since I just did my MikroTik V7, I will just schedule this device, so it goes a little bit quicker. And now, not yet, but we will see it will come in a minute. Um, Again, those IPAM records. Let's add them to the system. Those are in here as well. While this runs, I want to mention something else. So here in the data mapping part, by default, we have reconcile enabled. That means you are in control over the data that comes in. But in case you say, okay, some data like IPAM, I don't want to accept or verify it every time. You can just like hop, add it to Netbox. I don't want to do the reconcile. You can just uncheck this checkbox and then you don't have to accept it. It will just be added to the system, and this you can do per data model. So you can, yeah, choose a bit what should be done when. While talking, you can see that the interfaces came in. So I add those as well. Oop. And now here in that box, if I go to my MikroTik, you see here it has 17 interfaces, both physical and virtual, but they're all added to the Netbox system. If you have any questions about this or features or you need help, just reach out to us, create a ticket. You can find us on Slack, and we're more than happy to help you out.